tell you is, of course, when those stories developed, and in this story, they developed, and then even in the Song dynasty, there was no mentioning of Niu Lang, which is the Cowherd stealing weaver girl story. Okay, so those stories were separated, but they were trying to enrich it. But the problem was, in Ming dynasties, it's the first time that they mixed these two stories together. So that now, in the very beginning, you have a genuine love story of two souls. And then you have another story of some guy stealing clothes from a woman and then force her to marry him. When these two goes together, you can think how awkward it would be. The problem that it will have is, for example, in modern days, so this happened 2 years ago in China, and I mean, it happened a long time ago, but it's come to the public, this chained woman incident, etc. So you all, I mean, many of you know this. If you don't know, it's perhaps worth search. And then now, the problem with this approach is the weaver girl and the Cowherd is what it was one a tale of true love, but the other one was the tale of opposing. So this was a tale of opposing patriarchy. So basically, people like the story because they fall in love with each other, forced to be separated by the celestial beings, by the god, etc. But they resist this; they're still in love. And they're not worried about, although they can only meet once a year, but they don't worry. So this is why people celebrate this, because this is a story against patriarchy. The problem with those modifications was that when those two are mashed together, the story becomes distorted in a way that it still goes against patriarchy. Patriarchy, by patriarchy I mean existing power structure, etc. But it does not against male dominance. In fact, it actually supports male dominance. Basically, in a story, if you don't have a wife, if you are a man, use whatever method you can. You can even go and steal these clothes, you can even force somebody to marry you, no problem. I mean, of course, this is not only in Chinese mythology, in many mythology, in Egypt and everything, woman was just a tool to educate men or to fulfill, to enrich the men. So they do not treat women as an independent human being, but as an object. So this happened here. But what I want to say is, when did it happen? It happens in Ming Dynasty. So why in Ming Dynasty? We know that in Ming Dynasty, you have the new Confucianism, right? So new Confucianism, 宋明理学. And then those things, of course, initially those philosophers were trying to rationalize old Confucianism. But unfortunately, it was being used by the state to emphasize patriarchy. It's similar to the witch hunt story in Europe. So in Europe, you have witch hunt because they want to kill women, especially old women. But here, if resources is scarce, they want to harm women first. There are a lot of stories we will be discussing later on.